Imagine a quiet, unassuming house perched at the very end of a winding street. Its windows seem to watch the world like dark eyes under the moonlight. The air is still, yet there's a faint murmuring, as if the old walls are whispering secrets to anyone who dares to listen. You stand outside, hesitating on the threshold. A subtle chill brushes against your skin, and it feels like the night itself is urging you to walk away. But curiosity tugs at your sleeve. If this place is so ordinary, why does it feel cloaked in shadows? Why do the wooden floors creak with every tentative step, as though the house is alive, observing your every move? In the distance, you hear a faint tapping sound coming from below, just soft enough to make your heart flutter. Perhaps it's only the pipes rattling, or perhaps something else lies dormant in the depths of that basement. You've barely crossed the front door, yet a sense of foreboding settles around you. Something in the darkness is stirring, waiting to be uncovered. And you, whether by choice or by chance, are about to discover what that something is. You stand there, letting the silence stretch uncomfortably. A fine layer of dust clings to the door's peeling paint, and when you brush it away with the tip of your finger, tiny motes dance in the narrow beam of light. The air is stagnant, oddly still, as though something on the other side is listening, waiting. A sudden swell of curiosity pushes you to lean closer. The brass handle, cold and tarnished, offers no clues. You give it another gentle tug, but again, it refuses to yield. The lock seems old but robust, as if designed for more than just preventing casual entry. You take a step back and glance around for any sign of a key or a hidden mechanism. A faint flicker from the lamp in the hallway casts your shadow along the corridor wall, making you appear elongated and eerie. The quiet intensifies your senses. You notice a subtle scent, like damp earth mingled with something acrid. Is it just the smell of old timber and neglected corners of the house? Or does it hint at something far stranger below? Your heart thrums with the thrill of discovery. The door's very resistance makes the secrets behind it even more tantalizing. You imagine stairways descending into darkness, cramped spaces filled with dusty relics, and the faint echo of a past that refuses to stay buried. You run your hand lightly over the doorframe, searching for any cracks or irregularities that might reveal a hidden latch. Instead, your fingers brush against cobwebs clinging to the wood. They feel like ghostly threads, weaving you into the house's silent story. If this place has indeed guarded its secrets for so long, why does it feel as though you're meant to find them now? That tapping sound you heard before, did it truly stop? Or has it just settled into the deeper recesses of the basement, biding its time? A shiver travels through you as you realize your next steps might carry you further from safety, yet closer to answers. In the charged stillness, you feel the question burn in your mind. How far are you willing to go to uncover what this locked door has been hiding all these years? And so you stand poised, the key to an unseen mystery just out of reach, torn between the dread of opening a chapter best left sealed and the irresistible pull of the unknown. The house seems to breathe in unison with your own anticipation, as if urging you onward, deeper into its story and deeper into its darkness. You linger at the threshold a moment longer, then decide to search the rest of the house for answers. Wandering back down the corridor, you move past faded portraits and dusty furniture, each item an echo of lives long gone. You notice a threadbare rug near the foot of the creaking staircase, slightly askew, as if someone recently pushed it aside. Beneath it, the floorboards are worn smooth, except for a single plank that seems oddly raised on one end. You crouch down to inspect it more closely, brushing away collected dust. The plank comes loose with a gentle pull, revealing a small compartment scarcely bigger than a shoebox. Inside, there's a folded scrap of yellowed paper, edges curling with age. You unfold it delicately, half expecting it to crumble in your hands. Scrawled across the page in uneven ink is a set of strange markings, symbols, and looping lines that resemble a rudimentary diagram of some sort. As you study it, a sense of excitement mingles with unease. The pattern on the paper seems to reference the very corridor you just left. There are cryptic directions and a rough outline of what could be a key. Could this be the first clue to unlocking the door below? Although the meaning isn't immediately clear, you feel certain this hidden scrap is tied to whatever's awaiting you on the other side of that heavy, locked door. With the paper clutched in your hand, your heart quickens. Suddenly, the house doesn't seem quite so silent anymore. Somewhere in the distance, you think you hear that tapping once more, steady and resolute, as if urging you to continue. With the strange diagram clutched firmly in your hand, you make your way back to the locked door. Every step you take feels heavier now, laden with the possibility that the paper might finally reveal a way inside. As you near the end of the corridor, the low lamplight flickers, casting jagged shadows on the peeling walls. You stop in front of the door, heart pounding. Placing the aged scrap of paper against the wood, you notice one of the symbols lines up with the tarnished knob. Gently, you run your fingers over the grooves in the doorframe until something clicks. A small panel slides open, exposing a hidden keyhole. It's a narrow slot, inconspicuous enough that you'd never notice it without the hint from the diagram. Though your pulse quickens with excitement, a sliver of dread settles in the pit of your stomach. You can almost sense the house holding its breath. Without a proper key, the opening is useless, and yet this discovery marks a new step forward. You remind yourself that each clue, however small, brings you closer to unraveling the truth. A muffled thumping resonates from the other side of the door, startling you. It's soft but deliberate, as though someone or something knows you're on the brink of breaking the boundary. Your eyes dart to the diagram again. There's one more set of cryptic markings, shapes that might indicate a location elsewhere in the house. Could there be another hidden space holding the key you need? You step back, noticing the stale taste of the air in your mouth. You don't recall the house feeling so claustrophobic before. The same tapping that first piqued your curiosity seems to echo faintly beneath the floor, urging you onward. It's as if the old walls are alive, anticipating what comes next. You swallow your nerves and steady your breath. The door will remain locked for now, but not for long. Slipping the diagram into your pocket, you turn, eyes scanning the corridor. You've heard rumors of hidden rooms in old houses, places forgotten by time or deliberately sealed. Perhaps that's where the key is waiting. With renewed determination, you step away from the foreboding door, ready to explore deeper into the house in search of the missing puzzle piece that will finally open the way into the basement's dark unknown. You retrace your steps through the corridor, guided by a faint hope that another hidden clue lies somewhere in the house. The floor creaks beneath your feet with each hesitant step, like a hushed warning, but you press on. The tattered rug at the base of the staircase draws your attention once more. You slip your fingers under its edge, searching for anything you might have missed the first time. Nothing. You sigh and turn toward the staircase, its banister draped in cobwebs. Step by step, you ascend into darkness, guided only by a weak beam of moonlight filtering through a small window at the top. The second floor feels different, closer, almost suffocating. The hallway here is lined with half-open doors, each room seemingly as neglected as the last. One door at the far end stands out. Its surface is rougher, splintered at the bottom, as though someone had once tried to break it down. You push it open gingerly, entering what appears to have been a study. Dusty books lie scattered across a heavy oak desk, their titles faded. An old mirror hangs crooked on the wall, reflecting distorted moonlight that makes the shadows dance. On the desk, you notice a single drawer slightly ajar. Inside, among stacks of brittle pages and rusted pen nibs, you spot a peculiar metal piece, shaped almost like a skeleton key's bow, but incomplete. Your pulse quickens. It looks remarkably like the partial outline in your diagram. Gently, you fit the piece against the shape drawn on the scrap of paper. It matches perfectly, but you realize you're only holding half a key. Your gaze drifts back to the mirror. In its warped reflection, you see the desk, the door behind you, and something else, a faint outline near the shelf where the books are in disarray. With a surge of curiosity, you move closer to the shelf and notice one of the boards is loose. Carefully, you wedge your fingers beneath the gap. A soft click echoes in the hush, and the board slides away to reveal a small hollow space. Tucked inside is the other half of the key. When you hold the two pieces together, a sense of relief and dread washes over you. They fit seamlessly. This must be the key you need to open that hidden slot in the basement door. A jolt of anticipation brings you back to the moment, and you realize the tapping noise, so persistent before, has vanished entirely. It's as if the house itself is waiting for your next move. Clutching the newly assembled key, you feel both triumphant and uneasy. The final barrier stands below, locked and forbidding, and now you hold the means to breach it. You swallow hard, gaze lingering on the twisted reflection in the mirror for just a second more, and then you steady your breath. It's time to return to the dark corridor and face whatever secrets lie on the other side of that door. Clutching the key in your trembling hand, you descend the staircase step by careful step. The silence presses in, broken only by the faint rasp of your own breathing. Shadows spill across the corridor like ink, seeming to creep closer with each flicker of the dim hallway lamp. At last, you stand before the locked door again. Your heart pounds as you guide the improvised key toward the hidden keyhole you discovered earlier. For a moment, the metal resists, then slides smoothly into place, as if it has always belonged there. A slow turn, a metallic click, and the lock yields. The door groans open, releasing a draft of stale air that carries an unsettling chill. A narrow flight of wooden steps descends into darkness. You grip the railing and step down, each board creaking beneath your weight, each footfall stirring up a swirl of dust motes illuminated by the faint light overhead. The further you go, the colder and more suffocating the air becomes. At the base of the stairs, the beam from your flashlight, or the weak overhead bulb, reveals a cramped space lined with shelves of old tools and yellowed boxes. A single path leads deeper into a subterranean chamber beyond. With each step, your heart beats louder, and the walls seem to tighten around you. You reach a heavier, half-rotted door at the end of the passage. This one isn't locked, yet it sticks as though glued by time. You push it open with a groan, and the sight that greets you steals the breath from your lungs. In the murky half-light, you glimpse what looks like makeshift furniture, scattered papers, and something else, something unsettlingly alive in the far corner, shifting just beyond the reach of the light. Your pulse kicks into overdrive as you try to focus. Is it merely your eyes playing tricks in the gloom, or did you really see movement? You inch your flashlight beam across the room. The mound of tattered cloth and debris stirs again. You swallow a surge of panic. What, or who, could possibly be down here? Just as you steel yourself to step closer, that tapping noise returns with a hollow resonance, echoing off the stone walls. It's no longer faint or intermittent. This time it's deliberate, relentless, as if insisting you come nearer. The entire atmosphere crackles with tension. You can almost feel the weight of the secrets pressing in on you. Standing on that threshold, You sense there's no turning back. Whatever has been sealed in this basement for so long has finally been set free by your own hand. And the question hammers at your mind, louder than the tapping itself. What do I do next? You grip the flashlight tighter and force yourself to take a few slow steps into the room. The tapping echoes like a pulse, daring you to unearth what lies hidden in the gloom. At last, you raise the beam toward the shadowy figure huddled in the corner. It flinches, and you freeze, bracing for something or someone to lunge at you. Your mind swirls with possibilities. An intruder, a long-forgotten occupant, a desperate animal. The tapping grows louder, each strike hammering your eardrums. Then, in a rasping voice, the figure speaks a single word, your name. A chill surges through your body. How could it know who you are? You struggle to steady yourself, swallowing hard as you step closer. The mound of ragged fabric shifts, revealing a gaunt face etched with a haunted desperation. The person, if they still fully are one, seems to have been surviving here in the damp basement for an agonizing length of time. You see empty food cans and the remnants of a makeshift bed, all evidence of a desperate existence. Their eyes flick to the key in your hand, relief and fear mingling on their ashen features. They try to speak again, but only manage a weak wheeze. You turn off the tapping by gently pressing a hand against the loose pipe they'd been striking against the wall for years, hoping someone would hear. The abrupt silence rings in your ears, and you realize how accustomed you've grown to that sound. As you crouch beside this fragile soul, the gravity of the secret you've uncovered presses down on you. Someone was abandoned or trapped here long ago, their presence buried beneath the household's daily routines and forgotten lore. Why were they locked away? What history led to this nightmarish confinement? In that moment, questions flood your mind. But the only thing that truly matters is helping this person to safety. Gently, you wrap an arm around them, guiding them toward the stairway. They can barely stand, their legs trembling with atrophy and terror. And as you lead them through the door you fought so hard to unlock, you sense an almost tangible shift in the air. Like the house itself is releasing a long-held breath. In the days to come, stories emerge. Rumors swirl about family feuds, dark obsessions, or misguided attempts to hide an inconvenient truth. None of them can fully account for what you witnessed firsthand in that basement. Every time you pass that door, now left ajar, you feel the echoes of desperation and the weight of secrets that nearly remained buried forever. And yet, there is a strange solace in knowing the door stands open at last. You've brought light into a place once resigned to perpetual darkness. Even if the answers aren't all clear, the house no longer clings to its silent, suffocating secrets. Some mysteries, it seems, are better left uncovered, if only so that those trapped by them can finally breathe free.